Alright, boys. Hello and welcome to the first ever Slim, Slam and the Bandwagon Fan. I'm Slim. To my right, that's Slam. And to my left, the big guy, that's the Bandwagon Fan. Boys, welcome. How are we? How are we feeling?
Not bad, mate. Happy to have you in my house, so let's go.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us. Really looking forward to this and see how we get on. So,
Got a surprise.
a surprise.
Yep. Just gonna have to open this up, and I've already it up, to be honest.
Straight out the gate, you're taking your time too, which is
That's
good.
awesome.
Considering we're going
on
live.
o'clock. Not
We're
on
going
o'clock
live
at
for the
all.
very first time, and you want us to burn 30 seconds as you open a bottle of champagne.
Did
there.
you have a good day at work, Blaze?
Me,
Fantastic,
That's
mate.
great.
Yeah, had a ball.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, been doing long days at the minute, so
Yeah.
just waiting a bit longer for Schnars is par for the course, really.
It's just whoa!
Yeah, there we go, and we're off to the races. What are we dropping here, mate? Bit of Moe or?
Yeah, a bit of clean skin Moe. It's one of the French Alps
just for
finest.
I'm not sure how well sharing a bottle of champagne live is going
Not
to.
great for COVID.
It's going to work. Yeah, COVID regulations and whatnot, but we're all friends here, so we should be alright.
Now,
Yeah.
while we've just had a drink from that, Blaze, we should talk about our beer.
Oh, the
Today.
beer for the night.
Obviously, gone with an American beer here, the Pabst Blue Ribbon.
It's part. Yeah, it's
Harry
part of-
Gebhardt's favourite drink. You'll actually never catch him buying it, but he'll always drink it if you've bought it.
Can I pose something quickly? We never refer to him by name again, and it's purely Baz.
Baz.
We
Baz
don't
is
want to
favourite
confuse the fans at home or the listeners.
I
You don't
think-
have to be fans if you're a listener, but it's always got to be Baz.
He might have already had too much airtime for me.
He
Like
has.
it's been 30 seconds, and we've mentioned his name a couple of times. From now on, I reckon we must ban Baz.
We're
and-
not live though, so we could technically
Well,
get another bottle
might
of
have to have a
champagne
word
and
with
restart.
the. Maybe I'm looking at this one. No, I'm looking over here. Have a word with the editor and
Yeah.
see if we can't just cut out Baz entirely. That would be good.
Or beep it, or air horn.
Yeah.
Something, just get rid of it.
We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat.
Bloody hell, Jim.
Is that what the old Jim's bowling franchise
That-
expanding?
Jim, the editor.
That's
Yeah.
atrocious.
Shout
That's
out,
absolutely
Jim.
atrocious.
Lawns are a bit long out the back here, so come round.
All right, we're rambling already. I think what we want to get onto first is maybe a bit of a quick intro, considering it's the first time any of you would ever really come across us. Actually, that's not true because most of the people watching early on are going to know us, and because we're going to shove this shit down your throat.
Almost
So,
exclusive.
yeah, I'd say pretty
I
much.
think we'll be door knocking, coming around and being like, "You got a bit of hour to spare? Yep, press play." Don't care if it's YouTube, Spotify, however you listen to your podcast.
Whatever you want to get your hands on to, check us out.
Give us your. That's all we
Just
ask.
do it. Just do it. What we want to do early on is an introduction. So I think that's going to be the way to go about just introducing how we kind of see the NFL, where we come from, and what the goal is. So me personally, I'm a journalism and a arts degree graduate of a couple of years back, and I'm starting to use my powers for good in this space, obviously. So we've put together this kind of little idea. Obviously, all three of us pretty big NFL fans, so it kind of made sense in a lot of ways. I've got cousins over in Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas, as some have said previously since we won the bowl. And yeah, I guess that's what my first introduction to NFL kind of was, probably 8-9 years back, which isn't quite as long as you two boys have been following it, and I'm going to let you get to that shortly. But certainly where I lack on probably the years of experience that some of the rest of you boys have, I make up for with having a bit more of a level head and a level approach to these kind of things. And I think you'd probably both agree that you're prone to outbursts and maybe some
I'm going to step right in there
outrageous,
for both of us
outrageous
there,
statements.
Shaz, and that is absolute bullshit. Everything I say is spitting absolute facts.
Nothing unsubstantiated comes from either of our mouths. ever.
Absolutely not.
That is absolute cap.
You
But
will just get good, honest facts.
leading into good, honest facts, Chucky, let's tell the fans a little bit about yourself, and we'll go
Sammy
from
Slammer
there.
Osmond, work at a childcare centre. That's about all you need to know, really. And then, probably been watching the NFL since I was like 6 or 7, thanks to the old man Davo. And then, really, I don't know how much else you'd want to know.
So how does Davo go for Pittsburgh and you go for Kansas?
How's that work?
Because
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a glory hunting dick.
Yeah,
Well
I
said.
heard it was because you didn't like London, particularly Big Ben.
Yep. Massive facts. Massive facts. Another huge fact.
Shinazi, yourself?
I have I think it's my grandmother's sister. Lives in New York State. Huge Buffalo fan.
Can't be a real person.
So started with that. Didn't realise how bad Buffalo were, so ultimately became a bandwagon fan, whichever team was winning.
Yep.
Which has led me to be a Tom Brady fan for the last 10 years.
Fantastic.
Now
had a pretty good run.
The
So
amount of Super Bowls I've won in the last 10 years.
10, funnily enough.
Nah, just rub some more salt into the wounds.
you've had a fair bit of success.
Yeah, but put simply, if your team's any good, I'm your man. And that's what
Are you
you're
going
going
to
to get
tell
from me.
the fans at home about your new job at Officeworks?
So when old mate Slammer went down to Officeworks this afternoon to get some tripods for all of you actually watching at home,
Yeah, the viewers.
it could,
Viewers, not just listeners.
yes, quite mythical at this stage.
This whole thing was not right.
Keep talking. Yep. He bumped into me, my new day job.
Massive.
I got the shaft at my current job and pulled up at Officeworks. The baby blue goes with the Buffalo theme, so I was
it
like,
did blend in well.
straight in.
Just
It's very easy to notice when there's a 6'6" guy with a big honker
This-
in the middle of Office.
there's not heaps of them getting around.
Very, very
The big tall lanky man. I was gonna go a different way there, but yeah, lanky man just rolling down Officeworks, selling cameras and whatnot. So
Excellent.
I mean, it's a career change.
It's not how I often describe Greek gods, but that's one way you could do it.
Well, I guess that pretty much says all you need to know about us three idiots.
Yeah.
So, I guess before we jump into what we're going to do tonight, giving everyone a bit of an idea at home of what we're going to be looking like as the season kind of unfolds, and obviously there's a bit of unknown surrounding, what that's going to look like and how we're going to, how the NFL is even going to function, let alone what this little old podcast is going to look like. But we want to try and do two shows a week, posting Wednesday nights a review show for the week that was, and then Thursday we're going to be posting a preview for the games, obviously starting Friday morning, Thursday night football for them. So that should be really good. Nice full slate every week, 2 games, plenty of bands. We're gonna have
Shows. 16 games.
correct, yeah, my mistake there. And we're gonna have our own segments and whatnot. So it's gonna be really good. It should be a good time. And really keen to once obviously the games start, the content kind of flows from there. So
I think more importantly, it's a chance for the three of us who have been mates for. Sorry for this. Gonna edit that out, obviously.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Don't worry, Blazers already dropped like 4.
but back,
the beep counter is going to be going off its head.
Yeah.
So
but once again, for those watching at home, the three of us, how we all met was through the Flagstaff Footy Club and shared some success through there. And much like my Patriots, pretty much success follows me. So if you're a team out there and you want to send me some free merch, I can guarantee you a winning record. Put it that way.
that's a plug. That's a huge
that's
plug.
a huge plug.
So you get the Midas touch when it
Yeah.
comes to that kind of shit. That's good.
But no,
Good to know.
on a serious note, it's a good opportunity for three of us to come together, talk about something we're passionate about, and if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. And at the end of the day, if the listeners like what they're hearing, we'll keep doing it. If they're not, we'll keep working with it and then try tailor it and come back again and, sharpen the pencils.
And I mean, ultimately, if nothing else, it's 3 like really close mates. I mean, me and Shanazi lived together for a little while there. Me and Chuck go way back to a time before. I mean, I was still skinny. You weren't fat, but
Yep. It was the first fat joke.
How far into it?
9 minutes, I reckon.
9 minutes?
it was a
minutes,
low
yeah.
hanging fruit. I'm
Took
sorry.
longer to get there than I thought we would.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But no, if nothing else, I mean, 3 really good mates being able to hang out and talk some shit about stuff that we do avidly follow, and I guess we were kind of all watching our own, shows along the way, and thought, well, there's no real Australian voice out there that we can speak to a level of intensity that not many that I've come across can. Certainly, a good self track, you love it to death, and you can talk about it for hours on end. In fact, we have on multiple occasions.
Have talked some people's ears off.
And likewise, I think we'll probably have a little bit of a knack for trying to, I guess, communicate to the layman fan that doesn't really intimately know it, and we can kind of teach them from there. So I think that's going to be the 2, kind of main approaches we want to really get out of it.
And I
obviously, yeah.
Even just the gambler that loves making money, I'll be tipping 16 out of 16 most
The
weeks,
humble
so
gambler is always welcome here.
Jump on those multis.
We will have a segment dedicated to that, but that'll be released a little bit later on.
Once again, if you're a simpleton like our mate Baz,
Yep.
and if he can't understand what we say, we're going to make it that simple that you can understand, so anyone can understand.
We're
You can
gonna
tell
walk
your
you
mum,
through
your
it.
grandma, your dad, tell them to watch.
Yeah, like the kids
Great
at,
Aunt Marge.
like the kid,
Great Aunt Marge.
like the
10
kids at your childcare centre. They could tune in really and learn a
They
little
love
bit.
it. They love it. I mean, they've been pumped for weeks about it.
Oh.
I keep telling them.
I can't imagine they've heard about anything else.
Nah, not for weeks.
Yeah,
I can't imagine this has actually made it onto the website. Rule number 1, don't talk about kids on the podcast.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's
Uh-oh.
probably a big We might get cancelled before we get going, but that's all right. We're having fun.
Like I've got my job at office. Man.
Plan for tonight: NFC, AFC. We're going to do a division each night, leading into the season. So obviously we're on the clock a little bit here, but we've got plenty planned, and we're going to pump it. We're going to pump it out, I should say.
And tonight we're talking the East.
We're talking the East, aren't we? We're going to start with the AFC. As Tom kind of alluded to, there's a bit of a link to the Buffalo Bills. I think we're going to take them off the rip.
Don't forget his Pats.
Oh, his Pats, of course, also lurk in that division, but obviously there's been a...
As well as his Dolphins and his Jets.
No. Only my Dolphins if Tua becomes good.
Right.
And if Darnold doesn't get... Sam Darnold doesn't get mono...
It sounds like he's not the only one. Mono.
I got worse than that. Rattled my
Just called yourself out.
I've rattled myself there. We're going to start with the Bills anyway. So I think we're going to lead with maybe a bit of Chucky. Can you take us through the Bills early on?
Record?
We're going to give their overall record I want to hear about first, and then I might chuck to Schnars to have a chat about the ins and outs and maybe a possible breakout, something along those lines.
All right. Well, so should start right from the top, Blaze. This is not going to be a good division.
Okay.
I have got
Not much love for the East.
not a lot of love for the AFC East. Not a lot of love for the AFC East. I've got the Bills going to 9-7, and that's going to win you the division this year. And that's just above 500.
That's pretty ugly.
It's not great, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk the ins and the outs?
I want to focus on the Bills. I want to kind of step through it, team by team.
All right. Well, I mean, for a start, they picked up Diggs. That's a great get.
Huge get.
It's going to be a top 10 wide receiver.
My boy Josh Allen can throw the ball, just not consistently. So if Diggs can consistently get open, he might catch 50% of the balls thrown at him.
Well, yeah, he's just got to throw it far enough and hard enough and hope that Diggs runs onto it.
Well, Diggs is good after the catch too. So if he does make a catch, in that 15 to 20 yard range, if it's an absolute bullet, as we know Josh Allen can really rifle them. He's a chance to grab. No, Josh Allen's a chance to grab extra yards on his tally anyway. But certainly Diggs could be in for a pretty huge year.
Josh Allen hasn't thrown for over 300 yards in a game yet.
Are you suggesting there's potential there to blow that up, or is that just a question mark on what he's actually got in the tank?
Huge question mark on the whole Bills season.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Slam might agree here. It's probably one of the only things we might agree on. We'll caveat that by saying that we haven't actually spoke about this yet. But with how their defense is great. The Bills have a great defense.
And they added Josh Norman this year as well.
Yep. So there's no concerns with their defense. One of the best defenses last year, and their defense numbers weren't padded by interceptions and whatnot. But their offense is going to be largely flow how Josh Allen flows.
Yep.
And if he fires, they fire. And if he doesn't fire, he might find himself, on the back with Tyrod Taylor and who's old mate Peterman.
It's not dissimilar to the way
Peterman.
that playoff game fell apart from him last year anyway.
Well,
I think
they
when
had
Josh Allen was
that thing
hot,
was signed, sealed, delivered. It was done, and then got close in the last quarter, and he completely went
crumbled.
To water.
So
absolutely went to water.
he's gonna he will have a chip on his shoulder over that. I think he seems like a pretty. I mean, obviously I don't know Josh personally, but I'd assume that he's a pretty proud guy. You don't get that far without having a bit of pride and a bit of that
No,
grit
he'd
and determination.
have to be embarrassed with how that game.
Of course he
went,
would.
I'm sure.
Of course he would. And that can be a good motivator, or it could eat you up. I think you'll probably find he'll bounce back.
And that's why this season is the season for him to really put his stamp on it and go, this is my team. They've committed to the coach. I believe he's got a 6-year contract now, signed an extension during the week. And if they go out, they've got the defense. They seem like they have a good coaching staff. Can the offense fire? You've added Diggs. You've got Singletary, who I think Slam might talk about a bit later. They've got the pieces there. It's just, can they put it all together? And that puzzle piece right in the middle, or the linchpin holding them all together, is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably the fairest assessment you can give is, maybe a lot of their fate is tied to him and how he kind of holds up. There's going to be scrutiny. I mean, you look at Lamar. I mean, I know we're not talking the Ravens tonight, but Lamar had an unbelievable year last year, and you walk out of the playoffs with no win. I think no one's going to say
the same amount of playoff wins.
They do.
Yeah, well,
That's what you
exactly,
need to know at the end of the
exactly,
day,
exactly.
And also,
that's what counts. So
Josh Rosen has the same amount of playoff wins, and he's a third stringer now.
yeah, so we're really diving into it, but
I'm just thankful as a Bills are the team. If any team clutches at the heartstrings a little bit, it's the Bills.
yeah.
And I'm just grateful we didn't take Josh Rosen.
If there's any blood in that cold heart,
I was hiding because this is UCLA. Had some parties, but
I can imagine you and him would have got on just fine at a UCLA frat boy kind of shindig.
Would have boxed on a few times.
Boxed on.
Actually look a little bit similar, you and Josh Rosen.
Huge schnoz, is that?
Yeah, big schnoz. That sort of comb.
Can we
over
get,
with
like, a
haircut.
counter
Is
or
Josh Rosen now working at Office Works?
I think
Is
he
that the
might
word?
be.
Is that the word?
Potentially. That's about how well his NFL career is going.
I might have to
So-
get-
Shout out Office Works for the tripods, but they're looking like they're holding up all right.
No,
so.
don't give him a shout out until they get my boy Josh a job when he's cut at the end of the season. He's either 3 teams in 3 years or he's done this year.
We'll keep him in mind.
Yeah, we were talking breakout players.
we are breakout and maybe
Shaz did highlight on it before. He's absolutely right. Devin Singletary has to be a breakout player. Like, he just looks all the goods.
Yeah.
Last year was a massive step in the right direction. I think everything's set in place this year for him to go over the top and become an absolute number one.
He's only a small man.
Small
Am I
man,
wrong?
but that's not.
It's not
that's
massive
worked-
at running back,
that's
I know.
worked before in the NFL, like
Yeah.
catch a few out of the backfield, get open, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Could
Mate,
be in for a massive year. And I'd say as much as Schnard said that Allen will help their win total this year, I'd say Singletary is going to do just as much. If he can fire and Allen can have that guy to just chip things off to in the backfield and just
Yep.
hand it off, that'll go a long way to them winning those 9 games, I would have thought.
Well, little Tommy down in New England, he had a bit of success dumping it off to
Yeah, he didn't mind
James
dumping it
White
off.
and alike. So, there's
Speaking
there's
of-
scope there.
Speaking of dumping off last year, not NFL, college. One of the boys that I believe the Chiefs got,
Clyde Edwards,
Clyde Edwards, yes.
a little fella who absolutely run riot in that college football playoffs last year. Unreal. Singletary probably helped his draft stock a little bit, but those players, they've got explosion.
Yeah. And they've got value in today's NFL, I think.
Yeah.
With pass rush and all the rest of it, that's kind of
Really, I think
really
running
coming
backs
in
have got a
quick.
very short life. I think they're really, after you draft them, I think that you've got their first 6 or 7 years are probably their best 6 or 7 years, and you don't see many running backs getting paid by the time they're 30. So you want them nice and young, fit, firing.
Well, I think
not
those
too
rookie
beat
deals
up,
really help with your cap management and
Oh,
stuff like that
absolutely.
these days. I think
Absolutely.
you look at some of those teams, and obviously, again, we're not trying to get into other teams outside of these 2 divisions, but those teams that have paid those big money deals, when things go west, aka the Rams and Todd Gurley,
Well, look,
you've got
I
so
mean,
much
let's
money
look at
tied up
Bell.
in one bloke. Lev Bell, the same.
Let's just look at how the Chiefs won their Super Bowl. Like their cap
Yeah.
management was unreal because they had Mahomes on his
And it continues to be.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this forever and a day because these 2 are Chief fans, obviously. But he's the most hottest property in football right now.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
he's going to get his airtime. He deserves it. Lamar's going to get his airtime over the next few weeks until it doesn't look like they'll lose a game for quite a while in the NFL this season. But we'll cover that when we get to it. But
For sure.
those
Absolutely.
players that are popping, we'll be getting around them.
Oh, I mean, you'll get around them for sure if they're having good weeks, and you'll be all over them.
Might paint myself purple in week 2 and come in here. Hey, how would that go?
Yeah, well, we can see, how that goes. It might be a blue in the booth, but
That'd be something.
yeah, that'd be good viewing actually. Me and you trying to take on the big schnazzle.
What do you mean, me
I
and
don't
you?
want- I
It's
don't
going to
want
be me
any
versus Slammer. You'll be over.
I'll be egging him on and maybe slip a knee or something like that.
Excellent.
Before we move off the Bills,
Mm-hmm.
I know one of your little pet projects in the off season as we've kind of approached doing this has been a bit of a Madden,
The Madden shade.
the Madden shade.
The Madden shade.
And so
And they've thrown shade once again.
you're going to
They
give
throw
us.
it all over the place.
You're going to give
Left,
us.
right, every team. Cops one.
And there's,
Or multiple.
there's
It's
going to
like
be a bit
Lou
of this.
Williams at the strip club.
Absolutely.
When he's supposed to be in the bubble, he's throwing shade.
It's like us in the strip club, except we don't have
We're
that.
not talking about
We don't have
yeah.
any kind of dispensable
There's
income.
no
for it.
correlation between us and Lou Williams.
None.
And I've never been to a strip club. Now,
Absolute claim.
so
So-
me first Madden one is a bit left centre. You're gonna be. Some people are sitting there thinking, "Who the hell is this?"
Left
Slammer's-
centre-
Slammer's gone off on another one of his bloody tangents, and he's lost the plot.
Left centre could be
But-
your middle name, hyphened.
Mitch Morse, their centre.
Who?
Mitch Morse, their centre, is only rated an 82. That's not high enough.
That's not.
That's not high enough.
You're giving love to
A centre.
offensive line, centre,
First Madden shade of
Madden.
the year, and I've gone a centre.
Wowie.
Yeah.
Wowie.
It's good to go left early because pretty much all the rest.
It's-
But,
You haven't gone left or right here. You've gone straight up the middle.
yeah.
oh, you could
centre.
almost say centre, yeah. Very
But
good,
yeah, no,
very
he's
good,
only been
very
rated an 82. He used to be at the Chiefs, and he was pried away from the Chiefs and offered big money from Buffalo. And I think 82 is a bit of Madden shade.
Unders, Madden
Madden
shade.
shade.
Schnaz, I'm going to ask you all night this same question. Are you going to hype that up or are you going to swipe that out?
I'm going to hype that up purely for the fact because if he's saying you're underrated as a centre, you're most certainly underrated.
There must be love. Yeah, I mean,
There has to be love.
I must confess, Mitch Morse isn't ringing too many bells. So
wasn't that long ago. It was only like 2 or 3 years ago.
Was it?
Jeez, so.
yeah, well,
Can we get the casual bells going off here? Casual fans?
casuals. I might have to get the editor to chuck up a picture of my old man in vintage Kansas City gear and just make sure everyone knows that that's
That
not
doesn't
the
really
case.
mean
But
you know what you're talking about, though.
I haven't claimed that so
That's
far.
a
I
huge
don't think.
claim.
Good.
All right.
Should we kick on then? to
Yeah,
the,
I've been kicked in the
Patriots?
guts real early, but anyway, we'll move on. Moving on to the Patriots. Tommy Boy's out.
Yeah,
Cammy
so-
is in.
I'll open this one up. I've got a few things to say on this one, and happy to hear counter arguments from Sam. And then if the casual in the middle's got anything to add, he can add it. But a bit different here. I've got the Patriots going 9-7, and I know it's a bit different to what Slam's got, as you can see by the reaction.
Yeah.
9-7.
Might be a touch dramatic.
It's very dramatic.
Dramatic having them at 9-7.
So, like, if you're looking at the rosters pre-COVID, they've essentially lost Tom Brady.
They're not going to be playing with a roster pre-COVID. They're going to be playing with one.
Yeah, I know, but when you look at the
Oh, okay.
yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah.
But so we've lost Tom Brady here, who I know you two aren't the biggest fans of. I know we got a bit of money riding on the
75-year-old
Tampa Bay
Brady.
record.
We
So
can
you
touch on
guys
that.
think he was old man Brady last year. You're essentially replacing
Definitely
him
old man, bro.
with someone who's of equal talent. You've lost pretty much no one on the offensive side of the ball. Not that they had much to start with
Yeah,
anyway.
correct.
I was going
That's
to
it.
say,
Yeah.
what were you going to do?
They had the number one
The high
defense
school
last
kid.
year. Lost a little bit on defense.
A
and
little
then-
bit.
They've lost a lot on defense.
A little
Anyway,
bit.
let's just let him get it out. Let him get it out.
And so essentially, you're going to say you've gone from one of the best defenses in the league to an offense that couldn't produce anything with Brady. But you add in someone like Cam Newton, who in his day was creative, could run very well. That was one of his greatest traits in that year at Carolina, where he forgot to dive on the
okay,
ball.
Sorry, for a second I thought you were talking about Brady. I was about to fall over.
Quite enjoyed him that year. He was almost my number one.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, I followed him on Instagram that year. But no, but the point I'm trying to make here is they've lost a bit because of COVID. But you guys don't rate Brady, so you're putting in an athletic quarterback who can run and can throw. Does that add more creativity to this offense, further propelling their offense? And they lose a bit on defense, but they're going from the number one defense. They're not sliding all the way down to 30 on defense.
Are they too rigid
They'll-
for that
they'll
kind of
slide-
adjustment?
They'll slide a ways.
Is Belichick too rigid for that kind of rapid COVID off-season training camp
I think
cancelled? Rah rah rah.
If anyone's going to manage it properly, it's going to be him.
Probably, yeah.
He deserves the respect of casuals and fans of the NFL for what he's done over his tenure there. And I don't think he's not going to be, like, his pride will take a huge hit if they, look, when Slam's going to say they're going to win 6 games for the year.
Yeah, his pride will take a huge hit when they go 6-10.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not going to go 6-10.
And Cam rocks up to a presser wearing a bloody tablecloth.
Oh, well, counter.
Right.
Why do you think they're not
Pats
going
are going
9-7?
6-10. You can take that as a fact.
Right.
Why? Because they're only in as Cam Newton. Sorry. And Brian Hoyer. Try and say that with a straight face. They lost Kyle Van Noy.
It's a smooth dome on Brian Hoyer.
They lost Danny Shelton to Detroit. They lost Collins to Detroit. They lost Brady, Old Man River, to bloody Tampa. And they lost Dorsett to Seattle. Not to mention
the COVID.
outs. Patrick Chung's out. He's opted out. And Dante Hightower's opted out.
Who's Hightower's massive for them.
Massive out.
Yeah.
He's massive.
And
terms
Charles
of a
has got
number
them
one
winning
defense.
9 games. 9 games.
I think the thing you're overlooking here is who are the other 2 teams in the division that are guaranteed wins?
Look, right now, I've got the Dolphins going 5-11 and the Pats going 6-10. And after even reading that, I'm thinking I've got the Pats too high.
He's reacting to his own notes
They must
live.
be tanking. They must be tanking for Trevor.
That is a theory that I will subscribe to. That is a theory.
Not to mention, sorry, I only mentioned 2 of the COVID outs. They've got another 6 blokes. They've got 8 blokes opted out of the
Yeah,
year.
come off it. How many of those do you know?
I bet you, Bill was sitting there behind his desk all grumpy. He was sitting there and he thought, how can I make sure I get Trevor Lawrence? Right?
You are Belichick in
And he
35
said,
years.
I know what I'll do. I'll get 8 of my players to opt out. They'll all take base little salaries. I'll send them money, and then we'll be crap.
And you'll take Cam and pretend like you're trying.
Yeah, take Cam, pretend like we're trying. Let that guy wear a tablecloth to the
But
presser.
with Cam though, you've got a guy on a 1-year contract. Belichick doesn't care about his long-term longevity in the game.
Of course not.
He
No.
could just run him. He could run over 1,000 rushing yards.
Cam
More
might
than
have to
Tom
do
Brady
that.
ever run in his career.
Cam might have to do that to save his career anyway.
I know.
He might not have a choice. He might have to do that.
He has to ball out. So
Yeah.
you're saying they're not gonna beat the Dolphins or Jets this year, or are they gonna beat? Are they better than the Jets in your opinion?
about 2 games better. According
And are they better than Finns?
Well, the Finns are the great unknown, really.
I
We'll
would
get
not
to them.
be surprised at all if Dolphins end up with a better record than the Pats.
Okay,
Not at all.
that's we'll talk about that. We can maybe circle back to this.
Yeah, I
but in
think
my
circling-
opinion, that's
yeah.
that's 3 wins there. So you're saying they're going to win?
No, what? You're going to say it's 3 wins there? Are you remembering that in Week 17 last year, the Dolphins beat New England in New England, and it lost New England a playoff bye? And you're going to tell me it's 3 wins now when they've lost all these players?
Yeah, but you're
No.
He might have you.
No.
He might have you on that one.
I don't have you.
We'll jump in.
I just listed 3 reasons why I've got you.
So you're telling me they've gone from the number 1 defense, lost 2 players, and then 6 players who and then 6 players that are unnamed.
No, they've had 2 opt out. They've lost 5 players of free agency, plus Old Man River. And you're going to tell me that the Dolphins weren't an easy beat last year, and now they suddenly are.
Are Old Man River and Cam Newton not a direct like-for-like swap in talent level and what their production will be?
At the moment,
So their offense isn't taking a hit. Their defense is going from number 1 to losing talent.
I would say their offense is taking a hit because he knew the system.
You did know the system, but you're adding someone who can run now. That's a whole new look that they didn't have last year.
Bill will hate it.
I think we pretty much had our little lovers tiff here, and we can move on to another one because I know there's another one coming.
I'm chalking that up 1-0 slammer.
Oh, I'm not taking any points yet. I'm gonna get to the
It
end.
doesn't matter. You don't need to. I have.
Well, yeah. Well, Lord knows you're going 4-0, so there's no doubt in my mind that you'll see it that way.
I think you've lost all your weekly subscribers to your best bet with that comment.
Yeah.
They're going to go worse.
Segment.
It'll be
They're going to go
mine.
worse.
Blaze's best bet.
Worse than the Finns, in my opinion.
All right. So there
I
is
bet you a case of Mountain Dew.
there'll be a remarkable difference.
Oh, let's not try steal personalities here.
Yeah, because have to. Miami Dolphins, Sam, your record, and we'll jump in and maybe have a bit more of an argument here because I think there's probably one pending.
Right. I've got him 5-11,
Right.
and that
Oh, you're kidding!
he's just being a dick now. That's
There's a bit of dramatics involved in that.
that's potentially unders. Like they could, in my opinion, definitely go over. They added a lot of good pieces. Like they added Van Noy, another one of the ones the Patriots lost, even though they didn't lose that many players. They got Byron Jones in from the Cowboys at cornerback. They also got Howard and Breida, the running backs. Not to mention they had 3 picks in the first round. They took Tua, Jackson, and this fella whose last name is just absolute nightmare to try and say. Igbinogeni is how I'm going to go with it, the cornerback out of Auburn.
That's about how well their season's going to go, in my opinion.
That's a butchery. That is a butchery.
But yeah, I would not be surprised if they go better than 5-11, which is what I've currently got them at.
Right.
Even though they're apparently.
And you have
easy
kind of
to
touched
beat.
on the ins there.
Yeah.
I know you've got a really good break here. I love this bloke as well. Just
I'm
jump right
massive
in
on
there.
this. I'm
Yeah.
massive on this.
Yep.
This bloke, in my opinion, should have been good a year or 2 ago.
Mhm.
And that's Gesicki, the tight end.
Mhm.
Looks like, and I feel like the last probably 6 to 8 games last year started to get something going. So I would be massively expecting a huge year from this guy.
I know you were super flat in our fantasy draft
Yeah,
when I
the
nabbed him.
Dynasty League.
I nabbed him a couple of picks ahead of you.
Yeah.
I mean, a great young tight end, a catching tight end.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about it.
It's a good time to be a tight end as well in the NFL.
And I also
Massive,
sent
yeah.
I also
Bit of
sent you
money
a
flying
message,
around.
Huge.
sent you a message trying to get you to draft somebody else.
Yeah.
And you read right through
The
it.
mind games were all over the place,
Yeah.
but your
got
poker
your
face
cards
is
early,
your
mate.
poker face is shot. So,
I was flat about that. I was very flat.
but no, I'm really hot on Gesicki as well. I think he has that potential to really kind of explode. And like you kind of touched on there, Schnaz, obviously money's come for Kittle and Kelsey in the last week or so. But there's a precedent there. Those catching tight ends, their value has just gone through the roof in probably the last five.
Because you
6.
essentially you can roll them out as another wide receiver,
Yep.
and you can monster.
Well, you can't do that with all of them, but if you've got one, you can do that with
If you've got
huge
one, yeah.
advantage.
Okay, there's a lot of them out there who are no good. There's a lot of them that are my height and about my
You could
few
you
kilos
could play
on me.
tight end, but you'd be shot.
I wouldn't go as bad as some of them go in the NFL. That's a huge claim.
Massive.
But
No unsubstantiated facts.
No,
none.
no.
Corner of the table, though.
no,
None.
no.
But what I want to counter that with my record for them, I'm going to throw off the bat. I do not believe in the Dolphins this year, and there's 100%. It's the same thing every year.
But if you're saying that means that you also don't believe in Tua.
this is what I'm going to get to. So if you let me go before you shut me down, I'm an A380 on the runway.
You're
trying to Concorde me. You're trying to shut me down.
I can't control this animal.
No. So basically, what I'm saying here is Fitzpatrick, whatever you refer to him as.
Oh my God! I'm just saying your stats. You got him at 2 and 14.
You're cutting him off again.
No,
Let him go.
I'm just saying his stats, please.
So
Continue, big guy.
for those who actually care, which is going to be 99% of the population, when it happens every single time that you have a top 10 pick who you take as a quarterback, and then you have, a journeyman or someone who's at the end of their career.
Yep.
Same thing happened with Daniel Jones and Eli Manning last year. There comes a point in time where, the fans, the broader organisation want you to blood the youth.
Well, it's about hope, isn't it? It's about hope and potential. Yeah.
And it's because if the Dolphins get off and they lose their first 4 games, straight away the fans are going to be calling for Tua. Mm-hmm. And I think Tua,
if not earlier,
if not earlier, so what I'm saying is I'm writing off the first 4-ish games.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a bit of nervous tension for maybe games 5 and 6 when they're like, do we bring Tua in? Does Tua play the second half? Does Tua start? What's going on there? So you do all that, and by the time that happens, that unsettles the rest of your team because your number one quarterback's built chemistry. You've got your tight end having a breakout year there. I think he's great personally, but, changing quarterbacks the last 2 years has probably hindered him. You've had Josh Rosen, I think we had this discussion earlier, started three-ish games last year.
Yeah.
You had Fitzmagic start, 13 games, but he's a journeyman. He's not the future of that franchise. No. So that's where Tua's going to come in.
Yeah.
So what I think is going to happen is Fitzpatrick's going to play the first, 4 or 5 games. They're going to have this period where they roll over to Tua. Tua's going to be a bit rusty to start because that injury he had last year, he's had no contact since then.
There's question marks on how good he's going to be at this level anyway, Schnars. There was real noise despite the injury concern about whether Tua's, that good or if he's in that Alabama football machine.
It's a factory out there. You got skill players at every position who play well, who protect him. Like their offensive line's good. They've got receivers like Jerry Jeudy, unreal.
Yeah, but Liaros was talking about the guy that was unanimously going pick 1 before he got hurt. That was tanked for.
But I don't think that was before Joe Burrow had his breakout year. So
it was halfway through that year though. People were still talking about tank for Tua.
I don't think if Tua was healthy all year, they were going to beat LSU.
No, I'm not saying that. But I still think he would have gone.
And Joe Burrow's stock was just going up all year.
Yeah, astronomical.
We'll
get to the Bengals.
That's a discussion for another day. But what I think, so you got Tua rolling in at game 5 or 6. He takes a few games to get back used to it. He's been practicing with the second streamers, the reserve squad. Gets only limited reps with the number 1 string, the first stringers. And then when he gets to the back end of the season, I think he'll sort of have the same sort of year that, you saw Denver have last year with Drew Lock, going 4-1 on the back end.
Catch fire
Wouldn't be surprised if Miami started winning games in the back end of the season and, creates that hope, that hype for the next season. So
back end of the year, they're only winning 2, but according to you.
But what I'm saying, you got all this uncertainty.
Yeah.
This uncertainty is going to probably cause you to lose the games to your Bills. You're going to lose them to
I think those teams with the younger guys are going to struggle. I mean, it's going to be so much harder to learn NFL offense under these circumstances. And I don't really want to hammer on about COVID and all the rest of it because I'm sick of it. Quite frankly,
been hearing about it all
but
months.
I think in that sense, it is a real consideration. I don't think it's. I mean, you can only look at a textbook for so long before you have to actually get out there and do it.
I think the key thing here as well is you see all these people that proclaimed experts on whatever media you watch or listen to. They're saying Tom Brady's going to stink it up this year because he's had no time with this team. Tom Brady's an experienced NFL veteran who knows how the system works. You've got these first round picks or second round picks coming in. 4 weeks worth of was it 3 or 4 weeks? 3 weeks worth of padded drills.
Probably shorter this year.
Yeah. And I think we saw the highlights get posted in this game. It was pretty good. It's good because NFL's back and we're all happy for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But all of that stuff is just, I've just got question marks over this. So, you've got Fitzpatrick. You're going to change the tour at some point because why'd you take him at pick 6? Mm-hmm. Was it pick 6 or 5? 5. Herbert 6. Yep.
5,
So that's going to cause a bit of chaos within the organisation. You're going to end up and they could end up winning. What have you got there? 5 games. They could do that on the back end of the season with Tua.
I got a bit of faith in Brian Flores as well. I think he seemed like towards the end of last year
great
as well.
Defensive mind.
I mean, especially obviously with what they did to the Pats was kind of like the that tick-off moment. But I think they were showing signs.
Considering their easy beats for the Pats.
They were showing signs real late. Considering, you boys would remember just as well as I do that the start of last year, there was people saying that they were the worst team of all time.
And then they were trading away their good players.
Yeah.
There's they were at one point though. With all the players, the talent they lost.
By all means.
Well, I think it was week 1 last year. I think they lost to Baltimore like 42 to
Yeah, they got
nothing.
flogged.
Or
They got absolutely flogged. I think they put up 3.
3-7,
Yeah, they put up a
something
field
like
goal, I
that.
think. But anyway,
I think-
they're obviously a different team, and
I
he's
think-
a good coach for
what
sure.
our records are saying here is, 5 wins for Slammer, 2 wins for me. It's not showing that how the organisation's trending.
Yeah,
The organisation, if Tua is
No,
their-
they've got some good foundation.
Yeah.
sure,
Definitely.
absolutely.
and if Tua is their man, they're one of those teams that could, within the next 5 years, and the key thing here with winning Super Bowls in the modern era with players demanding huge salaries and needing to balance the cap is
Yeah.
getting your rookie quarterbacks to peak in years 3 and 4.
Yeah,
And so if Tua is their man, the Dolphins are heading in the right direction.
absolutely.
If Tua's not their man, well, then you go back to the well, which is what teams always do. You're never getting a guaranteed superstar in your first
But with
round.
that as well, I would have thought clearly the Dolphins aren't going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yes,
Clearly the Dolphins are probably not going to play playoffs this year.
you wouldn't have thought.
So why would you not just start to week 1?
Is he
Just
ready?
Let him go
Yeah, I
nuts,
guess that's
like-
the only question.
He's been cleared for contact. I'm pretty sure he's doing full contact stuff.
But there is an
so,
element of that like I mentioned, like the learning and kind of understanding NFL offense and what it takes to be at that level as
See,
well.
you've
But
Like-
you
got-
probably, Baz Schnarr said, you're going to learn more being out there and doing it than standing
You
behind looking at.
but it's also a combination because you don't want to jump in too early, shoot his confidence, and you end up
Yeah.
with something like I don't know.
He's got to learn a new
Josh
scheme.
Rosen.
But even
New
even
players.
Peyton Manning, when Peyton Manning came in his rookie year, played all the games. He set the interception record for a rookie, and look how that turned out. So,
But how many?
if
How
he's
many?
any good,
how many
he's got that.
Peytons
Yeah, of
there's-
course.
yeah.
But I think if he's any good and with the way their season's going to trend anyway, I'd be willing to just risk it. Let him
Minimal
have a go.
risk. I
think-
guess is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Minimal risk. You can't
yeah,
really
you're
blow
not-
him up
He has,
You're not missing out on the Super Bowl or the playoffs if you don't play.
unless he
so-
cops a whack. That
Yeah.
It's been a trend though in recent years where number one or top round quarterbacks they sort of sit for a year. Like you look at what they did with Goff, and I think that worked out sort of well. You look at Baker didn't come in and start week 1. They're doing this, and it is a trend because they are worried about the whole psyche and everyone
Yeah, it's
talks about
mental.
mental health
It's
and
mental, yeah.
social media and the impact and you're more accessible to players than you ever used to be. So
well, you're talking kids that are born and raised these days. By the time they make the NFL now,
they got
it's
millions of fans.
social media has been it for them through high school, through all of it. So you know,
Not to go off too subject too, or it's going off subject a long way to huge channel. Like LaMelo Ball's got more followers on Instagram than half the NBA, or than most of the NBA, 90% of the NBA players do.
yeah,
They're
that
just
is
so
off topic.
they're so accessible these days, and that if you're not, you got a level head or something like that, and you get sucked into all.
Well, you
this
become
shit.
your own brand.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways. But anyway, that's a completely different conversation
But
that we
yeah.
could talk at length about as well. But I know the Dolphins are one of those teams that are so interesting, and I think that's probably why we've kind of talked about
I
them
think, yeah,
at length here. But
2 or 3 years time, the ceiling is massive on the Dolphins.
Absolutely.
It could be huge.
That's if Tua is their man and is the guy who everyone says he's going to be and lives up to the expectation, potential, or the hype
yeah,
that was
Well, I think
around
that's
Alabama.
The question: Are you on the hype or are you on the swipe of Tua?
that's it. Hype or swipe.
I'm 100% on the hype of Tua. He was
so.
unreal in
All right.
college.
So if you're on the hype, and you're saying after 4 weeks they're 0-4 and he gets the job, are you telling me that they go 2-10 from there on? Because that's what you're saying,
That's what I'm saying. It is what I'm saying. You're not wrong in saying that.
right?
But what I'm saying is, are they just going to pull the plug at week 4, or is it going to be, you got a bit of
It's
argy
impossible.
bargy
It's
going on?
impossible to say. It's impossible
And you
to
don't,
say.
you like, as you said, like if he's been cleared to play now, but does that mean he's not
Yeah.
he hasn't played football? He's just cleared for contact. So Alex Smith's cleared for contact.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get to that when the time's right.
We will.
We'll
But,
get into that later on.
There's a
Fa-
huge
favourite
difference between
son.
being football ready and being cleared for contact.
100%.
All right, now, Blaze, as much as it pains me to say it,
Yes.
should we start talking about the Jets?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Dolphins have probably sucked into some of the Jets' time, which actually might work in our favour in a long run.
It's not a problem.
We know, obviously, by this reaction just here, Chucky doesn't have heaps of time for the Jets.
I got not a lot of time.
I think
but
I have
looking
even
at
less.
He doesn't have a heap of time for a lot
Looking
of
at the stats,
things,
Schnazer's got even less time for
Yeah,
it,
so-
which is remarkable.
which might actually surprise you, but I'm actually Team Schnars on those records. But we'll get to both
Jeez.
Tom's assessment and also your good
Well, I'll
self.
go first because mine's not going to blow people's minds as bad.
I think, okay, let's go then.
I've got him at 4-12,
4 and 12.
and I'm being nice.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 and 12 was probably generous. I got no
I'm being
time
nice,
for the
and
Jets.
I want it known as well that I've done the standings a couple of weeks ago in my head before the COVID thing came out,
Mm-hmm.
before they lost CJ Mosley, arguably one of their top probably 3-4 players.
Well, since Jamal's gone,
Jamal.
And
as well.
Best
Jamal,
player on the
good
defensive
lord.
side of the ball.
Yeah, I might have to change my 4 to a 0.
It does, I mean, I know
It's
our
safeguarded by
boy
my line.
Hutchie, who isn't with us tonight, but he will feature on occasion. He's pretty Jets happy. Certainly in the times we played our connected franchises on Madden,
Course,
he's all
yeah.
about
He
Sam
doesn't mind
Darnold. And why do I keep saying Darnold?
I
Have
don't
I've
know.
got some kind of factor there.
You've
But
been
anyway,
watching too much load him and Arnold, I reckon, and you're going Darnold.
that seems a stretch.
Yeah, it does, but I'll claim it.
Are you making a Hey Arnold?
He was. It was a hard on
Right
it.
one.
Oh, mate, if we could have a chat, let's have a chat with the
Disney-
editor.
the
I want to
first
get Hey
He
Arnold.
hasn't come from
Hey
me.
Arnold's face on his face. I just want to see it. That's a note for
I
later
can't
on.
believe the first Nickelodeon / Disney references come from that end of the table and not this.
Would have
end of the
never.
I'm
would have
going to
never
make a
guessed.
statement right now.
table. He would have been paying like 11
Massive,
to 1.
massive odds.
111 to 1.
Massive
The only
odds.
thing that got me going was like the old, hey, football head. What are we doing here? Football.
Although that was also the first testy pop of the
That was-
podcast, and
I don't even reckon that was a testy pop. I reckon I just go, hey.
He was paying live.
He just had, yeah, he just had good
Alright, so I've
pitch
got
control.
him 4
You
and
could have
12.
arbitrary.
I've got him 4 and 12. That was before I knew about Mosley and Adams, and that's not good news.
It's
But,
ugly. It's
Schnaz, let the fans know.
What's your assessment, Schnaz, of what that year's going to look like?
So, I've got him 1 and 15.
Right.
1 and 15.
My first question off the bat is, who are they getting the win?
Who are they beating?
And I'm
Can
going
you
to have to
remember?
give you donuts here because I did it earlier today and I'm actually surprised I gave him a win.
Right. Yeah.
They must be playing the Jags or something. But no, from basically looking at it, on the
They
defensive
probably are playing the Jags.
on the defensive side of the ball, they suck.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost their two. They've
And
lost
how did they look on the other side? Of the ball?
as good as Le'Veon Bell's accounts looking. No, but but
I mean, to lose Mosley and Adams, like, that's two,
Well,
like...
That's probably their best 2 players on
Oh,
defense.
that's an oof.
not probably is.
It is,
Yeah.
100%.
The only
Oh, don't forget
player.
about the kid that says bless you to himself after he sneezes. What is it, Quinton Williams? I think it was Quinton Williams.
Nah, he's not on defense.
I'm going to pick that habit up, I reckon. Someone's got to.
Bless you.
Shut up.
I reckon he thanked himself.
No, but I'm pretty confident here. They've got the second hardest strength of schedule this season.
Oh, good.
That's...
Lord.
Worst defense. Their offense, they don't have a lot going. I mean, Darnold, I think he's not gonna be a superstar in the league. He's gonna be a
No,
serviceable
yeah,
quarterback.
I'm not high on Darnold.
Nah,
Not
at
from
best,
what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
at best, he's a Kirk Cousins sort of, impersonate that type.
I
of
think
guy.
it's probably fair, middle of the road kind of stuff.
So
yeah.
I think he is.
Not that he's had a lot of help around him so far.
No, the
offensive
organisa-
line is atrocious.
The organisation has literally
Yeah.
since he's been there.
Well, they probably gave him mono in the first place. That's probably how it started. Conspiracy theory.
He'd be my highest likelihood of any NFL player to pick up COVID.
But there's been a few that already have.
Nah, but he's due.
Hates the entire
hates him.
But no.
Hates him.
I've got them 1 and 5. Darnold's got no weapons. Their defense sucks. I think all the bookies, our mates at Sports Better saying they're going to win 6.5 games.
I think it's 5.5.
5.5. Might be coming down.
So
that's-
from what you can tell there, jump on the unders.
That's about to
Put your house on
plummet.
it.
That should really plummet
It's
because
also
that is so high for them.
It's a safer bet to bet the if we're talking about betting quickly here. You don't want to bet the overs in this season because there's so much uncertainty.
Yep.
Unless you're betting on the Chiefs.
We'll get to them later.
We'll get to that when the time's right.
Yeah.
But if you're betting on the unders, because what the NFL is going to do, they haven't bubbled. They might bubble. It's going to be incredibly hard to bubble.
Nah,
so
very
they probably
hard to bubble.
They won't.
With that many
They
people.
can't. It's not. It's too
But
hard.
But what they might do is divisional bubbles or something like that.
At
where
least
you just
early
put
on in the year, I
teams-
think, is a
just
word.
to get some games going. But if they hit a point in the season where they've had to postpone it for 3 weeks, we're talking fully hypothetical here. They're going to have to load up some games, more back to backs. These teams that aren't as good on defense and
It's
the
defense,
Jets, the Jets defense is going to be spending a lot of time on the field. Shorter distance or shorter days between games. It's going to be harder to back up, which means you're going to concede more.
I think you should rub that one off right now. I don't think you've got
I've
no.
talked myself into 0 and
Yeah,
15.
you have.
and I
You really have.
slam
And you've actually
mentioned it.
talked me into it, and you've talked him off 4 and 12 as well. So I think
yeah.
I think the main point there is I think it was $1.82 when I checked this afternoon for Jets under 5.5, which is just crazy.
money for
So
Jets,
yeah, I'd be
And
taking
to
that.
make a statement there, we're obviously based in Australia.
Yeah.
Have no clue how to Vegas
Yeah, I
translates to
wouldn't have a clue.
what the bookies
No,
over here
yeah.
offer.
But I'm sure if you can get the Jets almost $2, $2 odds on 5.5 wins in, the Bellagio, I'd be walking in there and dropping whatever you've got accessible.
I reckon you dump it in a pokey first.
Theirs is like plus 500. So if it's plus 500 for every 100 you put on, you get 500 back.
Right.
So
not as easy just putting 100 on and multiplying it by $1.82.
Nowhere near as easy.
Yeah, my math, as Sam will point out probably countless times over this journey, is just truly bad.
And we're a nation of convicts. And we're smarter.
It's just so much simpler here.
It is.
I've probably got cancelled by all of our American fans for saying that.
That's life down under for you. I mean, if you are thinking about making a change, we don't have heaps of COVID down here in South Australia.
No, we don't want them coming over now.
No. When it's
wait till we got a vaccine.
I'll do your 2-week quarantine, mate. We'll be right.
Nah, vaccine, then come over.
All right. I'm pretty comfortable how that went. I like the AFC. I like where we kind of leveled out. I think...
Hang on, Blaze, do you want my breakout player for the Jets?
Well, go on. Before we move on, of course.
I don't have one.
Very well played. You actually got me to nibble then. I was like, hang on, who?
Sam Darnold could break out with mono again. He's gone.
That gag was so bad, it's going to get me to break out with chickenpox.
Oh, this has gone down quick. Might have to have a chat to manager Baz, the producer.
Might have to cut me off. Someone turn my mic
I feel
off.
like Madden Shade has come a little bit hard at Lev Bell, though. He's only rated an 87. Now, for the things that he has done over the last few years prior to the Jets, absolute gun.
I mean, Lev Bell's doing a lot of talking, isn't he? And
a lot of talking. Wasn't too happy with his mate Jamal when Jamal picked up stumps.
What about Davo? What does Davo think of Lev?
Davo? Yeah. I think Davo's happy to see the rear end. Get him out of Pittsburgh.
So Davo would throw more shade than Madden.
Yeah, Davo would probably have him rated to a 78. Something like that.
Yeah, which is probably a touch
hard. I think this almost goes back to the point you mentioned earlier in the show about the career span of running backs.
Yeah.
He held out for this reason. He held out to get money.
Yeah.
He's got money now. And
now he can't play.
Well, he can probably play now.
But he's not getting any help with that.
But he's not getting no help.
That offensive line's terrible.
No. And I know there was the Jets and the Giants both picked up tackles, and one was more of a project than the other, and I really should have done my reading on that. Becton was the project from Louisville, the big unit. So he's
could catch mono or see ghosts this year.
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
AFC done and dusted there. I think, the Bills and the Jets were pretty similar in our takes on what they're going to look like. Well, the Pats and Dolphins a bit more divisive, obviously. But
we did have although we got different win-loss, we had it ordered the same, which means your Bills are probably going to make your playoffs, or they are going to make your playoffs, sorry. Your Patriots are going to go close, but they're probably going to be relying on a wild card.
Close.
And then your Jets...
You're not getting in at 6-10, so...
Yeah. Depends who you're following.
Exactly. If you're running a 9-7 Pats offense from Tom Schnars, where they haven't lost anything and they picked up Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about the defense where they haven't lost anything.
But you're going from the number one... We're going to hash this back again. You're going from the number one defense. You don't go from number one defense to the worst defense because you
lose 7 players. They're not going to be the worst.
I think
6 of them are unnamed. We're done with that. We're done with
AFC. Let's move on to the NFC. And I think everyone's team, they either love to hate or love to love. And I know for a fact you love to hate. We're going to start with the Cowboys, Chucky. Give me your record. Give me some ins and outs, and give me a bit of passion because I know you've got some thoughts.
I've got no passion about the Cowboys.
You got anger.
All right, Cowboys. I got them at 8-8.
Yeah.
Middle of the road. Why do I have them at 8-8 in the middle of the road? Because they're always 8-8 in the middle of the road. Every year you think the Cowboys are going to be good, they go 8-8. You think the Cowboys might suck, they go 8-8. Why? Because they're just a boring franchise that get way too much airtime. That's all I got to say about that.
He's got a nice boat, Jerry Jones, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he looked great from the draft, but...
Compare that to Bill Belichick's draft setup.
Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, though, I'd rather go on Jerry with his yacht than play in his stadium.
You'd probably sell yourself to Jerry on his yacht.
Quite frankly, it's only been 50 minutes. We've only made one strike.
That's actually a good result. Yeah, I was backing you in
I've played the front 9 here and I'm 1 over.
Yeah, you're looking good. You're looking good, but I hope you haven't put the mockers on yourself here because we're still only just turning the core of the NFC. And it could be
looking at a lot of 9AMs on the run home.
Some tongue curlers. Tongue twisters.
Have you just 9AM'd yourself?
A little bit.
Yeah. So I have gone Cowboys 12-4 2 reasons. 1, I'm all about that Cowboys clout. I want that Cowboys clout. 2, they've got the easiest draw this season, without a doubt. You know, it's gonna be. It's just one of those ones where you've got Dak in a contract year. He's held
You've
out.
got weapons absolutely everywhere.
You've got the CD player.
Absolutely everywhere.
The CD player.
I'm huge on CD. I do.
Back.
I love CD.
He's come in. You've got 3 absolute wide receiver weapons.
Yeah.
You've got CD
High
Lamb,
level.
who I'm going to talk about because everyone's upping him at the moment. You've got Amari Cooper, who, let's not forget, is one of the best wide receivers in the game.
Yeah.
A bit hot and cold, but
Yeah.
you sort of hard to read with him because the Cowboys fans, they throw shade at him when he has a bad game. They hype him up when he has a good game. It's just the nature of the beast when you're the biggest or the most followed team.
Yeah, of course.
And then who's the other? You got Michael Gallup, don't you?
Michael
Yep.
Gallup. Yeah.
So Dak Prescott's got.
They've got a great set of wide receivers.
So he's got 3 absolute weapons. Their offense, in my opinion, or not in my opinion, factually speaking, is better than the Eagles' offense, who's their divisional rival to take it out this season. Their defense is probably not as good as the Eagles, but their defense is serviceable. So what I'm thinking
Have you told the people what you think their record's going to be?
12-4.
Oh, God.
I'm saying they at least go 5-1 in the NFC East this year.
Yeah, well, it's not a good division, is it?
What do you mean? But that's still
That's
what
still
do I mean?
they're still who
I
they
don't
got.
think there's
They've got to
very many
play.
other good teams in the NFC East.
Oh,
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I think the Eagles would give him a shout. I think the
probably go
Giants at home could give him a
They'll
shout.
probably go 1-1 with the Eagles.
And
in
I've
my
got no
opinion.
love for Washington, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to Washington. So with the easiest strength of schedule, and I'm a huge believer in storylines. I like a good storyline, and there's more to the game than just stats and numbers. It's
100%.
Dak's got his reputation, in my opinion, is almost on the line because he knocked back that huge deal that Dallas and Jerry put up to him, and he's gone, nah, I don't want that. I deserve more.
And now he's on the tag, so
He's on the tag. He's taking the Kirk Cousins approach,
Yeah.
which, you know, you can't hate it because he's making bank.
Yeah, of course.
Just no long-term security. But this year, if he balls out, and in my opinion, you know, they could potentially end up probably the number 2 seed in the NFC.
I think I know old mate over here is gonna huff and puff and blow this house down, but the Cowboys' schedule is soft. They do have a really good, fixture, and obviously interdivisional is quite
There's 4 straight wins
straightforward.
there. Yeah.
It's quite straightforward. So I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility.
No, see, I don't reckon it is 4-3 wins.
Well,
So you reckon the Washington football team?
Well, I just think like that division's a very storied division. It's the only division in football where every team has won a Super Bowl. They all absolutely hate each other. I just wouldn't be surprised if the Giants or the Redskins or the Washington football team.
Hang
Pardon
on.
me.
is that the first?
If the
do we have to
Washington
beat that
football
now, or are
team
we allowed
or the
to run that?
Giants got one on them? I just wouldn't be surprised if they got one.
yeah, but even if they sneak one, you're still looking 11-5, and that's good enough for a pretty high level entry in the playoffs.
I'm just a huge. I'm a huge believer. As I said, storylines. I believe Dak contract year. You've got a loaded offense. Your defense is a bit subpar.
Fair bit of heat on Zeke as
A
well.
lot of
last year.
consistency in the team. Probably, in my opinion, the second best running back in the league behind Saquon, who's also in this division. Great division for running backs. I've just pulled that up.
It is a good
Yes.
division for running backs.
But it's just
Not for Darius Geis, but we'll get to that.
No, it's not. I tell you what, the Giants as well had a young cornerback
Yeah.
as well in his second year. Good running backs and yeah, we'll leave that at that.
I was going to say, this plane is just
Do we
stalled
want to
mid-air.
talk about a couple of the ins?
Yeah,
let's talk ins.
Alright,
Let's
couple
talk
of the
ins.
ins. So, we've got
Go with
Ha-Ha,
Dallas.
Clinton Dix. We've got Andy Dalton, who I think, honestly, gives you pretty much the same chance of winning as Dak does. But we can get into that later.
Yeah.
They picked up Blake Bell and Cameron Irving. One was a tight end and one was an offensive tackle from both from the Chiefs. So I think that's just being smart, picking up players that aren't making currently the best roster in football. Pick them up, add a bit of depth, and then obviously CD Lamb, who they picked up in the draft.
Hang on.
Just looks like an absolute jet.
The CD player.
CD player, of course. Who you've written down, his name is Lamp.
I ran about 3 jokes through my head then and just
Yeah.
chose none of them. I was like, no, that's trash.
Obviously, that speaks up. He's obviously the breakout player.
Yeah, of course it is.
CD Lamb could absolutely explode.
I mean, you've got a good line. I mean, I know
That
many stars
O-line.
rate Dak a bit higher than you do, Chuck, but I think that O-line,
Can't play.
the fact that, I mean, he's in a crowded wide receiver room, but he's not in a particularly, like, target heavy room, I think he'll probably still get his share.
Lamb.
Yeah.
Lamb right now is a better receiver than Gallup.
Yeah, and I'd probably agree with you, but I think there's an element of having to earn your stripes. So.
There's an element too where he's going to get, if you've got 3 cornerbacks or the safety in the cornerback mix, whatever you've got in the field at one time in the secondary, they're not going to be loading Lamb with the best secondary
No, Amari
players.
will get the best.
They're going to put him at like Eli Apple on him, and we know how Eli Apple went in the Giants.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I got no love for him.
Nah, but so I think as a good segue into the Eagles, who we both have finishing second, and a reverse win-loss record. Who do you prefer more out of Dak and Wentz, and why?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not even close.
Well, then tell us.
Wentz is way better than Dak. Way better. If he can stay healthy, way better. It's not even close. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's a better thrower of the football. He's probably a better runner of the football. There's not one thing Dak does better than Wentz.
Stay healthy.
Honestly, okay, that's it.
That's very
the
well
only
played.
thing.
Well played. That's great cricket.
Can't win games. Can't win games on the IR.
Yeah,
But
that's
like Wentz, what was it, 2-3
Nick
years
Foles
ago,
cut
was
that.
like, he was going to be MVP if he didn't go down and get hurt. Like, Wentz is an absolute gun. It's not even close. They're not playing in the same ballpark.
Clowney
Hence
absolutely
why-
whacked
hence,
him last year.
Considering we're talking about a bloke that does spend a lot of time on the IR, does get injured, pardon me, and Philly was still more than happy to ship off a guy that won him a Super Bowl and pay Wentz the money, and Jerry's still not convinced to pay Dak any money whatsoever.
I'll counter that by saying, how good did that guy who won the Super Bowl go in Jacksonville last year?
Yeah, correct.
Didn't
But
have a whole lot of luck.
No. I share your sentiment in Wentz being better. But
I don't think it was even close.
I think it's close because I value staying on the field. You can't win games when you're on the bench. And I also value the fact that Dak's got a lot... Like,
He's got a way better supporting cast. Way better supporting cast.
So so pretty much the 2 top receivers at the Eagles, Alshon Jeffrey and... who is it? Who's the other one?
I don't know.
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson, yeah.
Oh, God.
They're the 2 guys, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the two.
Was Deshaun even back? Was it last
Oh,
year?
they've
Back
got-
there?
Didn't,
Yeah.
He was back there
They
last
picked
year,
up
but he didn't
Rieger
play.
in the draft.
Yeah, and they got Marquise Goodwin too.
No, he's out.
He's out.
He's COVID out.
Is he COVID
He's
out?
COVID out.
Oh, well
They picked him
then.
up in a trade, and he's opted out for the year.
Well, that stinks.
Yeah,
Because
that would
they
hurt,
obviously...
they were very wide.
When
Is
they
that
were running...
guaranteed money?
I mean, didn't the Eagles end up running punters at receiver last
to
year?
describe why Dak is so much worse than Carson. Like, who made the playoffs in that division last year?
Yeah, Philly.
Didn't they
Philly.
both go 8-8?
Philly made the playoffs, and in the last 4 weeks, the only reason was
The Cowboys
because of
get
Wentz.
bounced by the Giants
Oh, they lost to
at the
one
end,
of them.
like
and,
last game. I think they.
Wentz beat them with like nobody. Wentz did the whole thing on his own,
No, I don't.
and then he gets to the playoffs, and then once again got injured. But like, he was.
Absolutely rolled by Clowney.
Like, are you telling? Like, we can honestly sit here and debate whether Dak and Wentz are the same player.
I don't think
Dak-
anyone here is debating
When
it.
Wentz managed to beat Dak with a bunch of like.
We had a punter at receiver.
Yeah, like he's got nothing, and then the other guy had Gallup and Amari, and who's the guy that went to Houston? Randall Cobb.
Oh, I'm not debating here. I was using it one as a segue.
Yeah. And the segue worked, obviously.
Trying to learn the craft, not the cast, the Robert Kraft.
The second one, he is absolutely genius.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
Speed
Start
bump.
with Avalanche.
That's speed bump, baby.
I'm going downhill. It's getting fast.
Yeah, 100%. Now you're rattled
No,
too.
but so I 100%. So I had the Eagles going 9-7. They've got a.
What do I have him? I reckon. Oh yeah,
7-9.
7-9. So I have them. They've got a great defense. They've probably got the best defense in the NFC East, in my opinion. Well, it's not hard given what the Giants, the Washington football team.
Well, the Cowboys have some cattle, but it's just not quite.
They lost a
They
bit
Byron
though.
Jones.
Yeah. Losing Byron Jones
Byron
is
Jones
massive.
is an absolute star.
But,
Absolute star.
So that's why I've got them going 9-7. I think as you've hyped Wentz, and I agree. Wentz,
It's not even close.
He's a stud, and imagine if the Rams, the old
Right,
St.
put it
Louis
this way.
Rams,
Put it
took
this way.
Wentz over Goff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
massive.
Oh.
But put it this way: if you put
Well, they would've had a
Wentz,
ring by now.
if you put Wentz into Dallas's team and gave him those receivers and that offensive line, I'd have him 12-4 like you.
I'd probably have
I'd probably have him 13-3.
I would have them 15-1.
Like they would be
Challenging the Ravens.
absolutely stacked.
I
That's the
don't.
worst part of that offense.
It's hard, yeah. I mean, it's
I-
hard. I don't hate him as much as he does.
I don't hate Dak as much. I think once again, I'm going to So anytime anyone listens to this, Kirk Cousins is my prime example of middle of the road, milk the system for all it's worth.
It's going to be like a
Kirk
staple
Cousins.
metaphor, isn't it?
Yeah,
To Kirk
he's going to
Cousins.
be spoken about more than Baz, I hope.
Well, I mean, we're about tied 3-3 at the minute.
So Kirk, 6-3. Anyways,
Juice.
back on topic.
I do have a good breakout player for this one.
Yeah.
Fire away.
A defensive one.
Eagles?
I think it's the only defensive player I've got for the whole night.
I was going to say, because we've been running low on defensive
yeah,
players.
because
So.
no one cares. But Derek Barnett is my breakout defensive player. Now, so I believe he was taken in the same draft as Myles Garrett, and people were talking about him as if he was maybe as good as Myles Garrett.
Right.
But have either of you even heard of him before?
No, well, I don't think,
No.
what'd you
So that
say his
shows
name
you
was?
Derek
Derek Barnett
Barnett
has ever hit anyone over the head
That
with his own
shows you
helmet.
how well his career's gone to this point.
I did
But-
tell Mel Kiper, Mike from Daniel
Here we go.
Scanlon.
It's
coming.
all unraveling fast here.
Mel Kiper did hype him. But you probably haven't heard about him as much in the last 12 months. Even the
Quite.
last...
And the Eagles did have some serious studs
Yeah.
around those sort of positions.
The last 12 months, you haven't heard about him because one, he hasn't whacked anyone with a helmet,
No.
and
yeah,
two,
true.
because he's not favourite.
hasn't tried to kill anyone on the football field. Yeah.
And now
It's
he's
usually a
not-
good start.
And now Myles Garrett is one of the favourites for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So Myles Garrett.
So-
Everyone is buying stock. So I like this call from you,
This is the
Slam.
thing.
Yep.
So in the last 14 games of last year, he got 6.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Now, if he could bring that into this year and obviously advance on that and get himself to that next level, could turn into an absolute stud. So that's my breakout player for the Eagles.
Not to mention, he was probably.
Shout
I mean,
out
I
to
don't have.
Matt Size.
I don't have the
He'll probably
numbers.
love
Yeah, Sizey will love that, and we should shout out the big guy because I know he's got plenty of love, and I think eventually at some stage we'll probably try and get him to hook us up with some maybe Slim Slam and the Bandwagon fan, Guernseys or something of the like. He
true.
does have that kind of
True, nice
connection,
cheap
so he might have to explore that option at a later date.
Have we just
but
sold him out
I don't think we're selling him out.
for
no.
selling him on the black market?
No, it's not
No,
happening.
it's just
It's legit.
It's more of a it's more of a
definitely
social
legitimate
project.
stuff.
It's a social basketball type operation. Is what
I
the goal is
understand.
there. So,
So I think with that, maybe...
But that's the Jersey Cartel if you're looking for it.
Are we plugging someone here?
well, I'm just saying, if you were to go on Facebook and search Jersey Cartel, you'd find
You
where
know-
you could get your social basketball shirt.
You know how all those
Discount.
people message those businesses and those in Twitter pages and it's like, oh, hey, Tesla,
Yeah.
if I get 5 million likes on this, will you give me a free Tesla? And Elon replies back, no, I'm smoking a cone.
Yeah.
Then,
And
is this one of those situations? If we message
Well,
the
we're not
cartel,
smoking a cone.
Sizey, if this gets 50 views,
set the bar real high early.
Yeah, exactly.
now
Anyway, yeah, like,
leading
share, and
into my
subscribe so we
Madden
can get to that
shade-
number.
Leading into my Madden shade here, Blake.
Oh, the
We've touched
hyper
on it.
swap? Hyper swap?
Hyper swap. We've touched on it.
Yep.
Madden, in all their infinite wisdom, have gone and rated Wentz the same as Dak at an 84.
So this is-
That is just throw up your nose,
This would have been-
chuck him out the window like,
This would have been good value
who
earlier.
is running that place?
This would have been good value
He's just
in the discussion.
mind-boggling. So that's it.
What rank did you say it was?
84.
See, I think 84.
You say 84.
84.
84
Wentz is
might-
an 84.
I was going to say 84 might be fair for Dak, but
Yeah.
Wentz has got to be way north of that,
He's
hasn't he?
got, in my opinion, Wentz has got to be an 88.
Unless that injury
If you
rating is dead
simulated-
set 3.
If you simulated the season, does he play the 16 games though?
That's what I'm saying. If his injury rating is sub 10,
Maybe he's losing a
that's
point
probably dragging it
for
all
every
down.
game they estimate he's going to miss.
Yeah.
So maybe he does start an 88, 89, and they're expecting him to miss 4 to 5. So that's why he's the same as Dak.
The logic's sound.
I
The
can't.
math checks out.
Speaking of 4 or 5, why don't we have a look at what we reckon the Giants are going to win, Tommy boy?
So this is probably where we actually the first time we're aligned or not.
Here we go!
Love it when a plan comes together,
Yes,
boys.
it's only taken 7 teams and we are finally there.
Yep.
We
Sam?
are flying.
4 and 12. What do you
4 and
think?
12. Giants going 4 and 12.
Yep.
Can I get you boys,
If I'm gonna
warm towel or something?
if I'm gonna I don't know how to say this. Maybe I'll just say it. I am hyping the Giants offense big time. I am buying stock in their offense.
Right.
Oh,
Trending
you're
up.
leading straight into my breakout player.
I am
Have you
selling
pre-planned this?
No!
I am selling stock in their defense. And that is how I've ended up at 4 and 12. I think, fun fact, I was actually...
we just hyped him up in the middle. Oh, I'm back to it.
Yeah, but it's one of those teams, and I think we'll get to it with a few other teams, and I think we discussed it the other day when we were just having a general chit-chat. The Denver
We need the red. We
Yeah,
need the
we need
red.
the red.
It's getting close to intermission.
So,
God, there's not a lot there.
Get the beer as well. Lids on.
I'm trying to break some news.
Make it hard.
I'm trying to break some news to the fans over here. So, a fact that I read the other day, which is fully substantiated, and this is the only fact that will be substantiated that I have said tonight,
Brilliant.
is that Danny Dimes and I think it's their top 4 best offensive players did not play one snap together last year.
Yep.
Offensive players, you said.
Yes.
Right.
So you're talking...
Sorry, can I just wind this back for just a... Danny Dimes.
Yeah, Danny Dimes,
Danny
baby.
Dimes, Daniel Jones. Woo, throws it.
Danny Dimes.
So how I feel about that?
How many touchdown passes
You
do
can
you...
call him Daddy Dimes if you like,
Cool,
Sam.
I won't.
That's
How
probably
many-
your style.
How many touchdown passes do you reckon he threw last year?
I don't know, but clearly it's higher than what I'd guess.
Have a guess.
12?
Yeah. How many interceptions did he throw?
Oh, I don't know. 20?
24 touchdowns,
Yeah.
12 interceptions.
Well, bugger me.
It's a good rate of fire.
Flip
You
the switch
put-
on me.
You put him on the
2-1.
field. You put him on the field with Saquon. Saquon.
Oh.
Oh.
You really did put the mockers on
Moguls.
yourself,
Yeah.
didn't you?
He's on the moguls.
That's all right. Back yourself in.
We might have to shorten these podcasts down to 49 minutes or
Well,
something
yeah,
like
'cause
that.
you
'Cause
were
I reckon
on-
that was the mark.
Or just limit your drinking.
I don't think it's the drinking.
Nah, he's been actually rock solid on the drink. He's really knocked off that red.
I think when you put Danny Dimes on the field with Saquon consistently, Evan Ingram, Golden Tate, and Sterling Shepard, it gives their offense.
Yeah, they've got a bit of personality there for sure. Like,
Yeah, and they would have a top 10 off talent on the field, top 10 offense. Danny,
Well, hang on. The Giants.
Not sure about 10.
top 10.
Giants.
Yeah, with all the talent they have
Top
on
10.
their offense.
Top 10 offense.
The New York Giants.
Yep.
I'm not buying stock in that. I'm not picking
Top
that
10.
up. at all.
I'm saying top 10.
Top 10. And you've got them going 4 and 12.
I don't want any
But
of
did
that.
I,
Schnars.
did, so
I don't
did
want any of that.
I built up the offense and then I bring it down fucking quickly with the defense.
but you cannot seriously sit there and tell me you're thinking top 10.
I don't think we agree.
You don't. I'm not
Hang on,
asking you
let
to
me
agree.
tell you this.
Yeah.
So, like the other year when the Chiefs had the number 1 offensive football and had pretty much the worst defensive football, they were still
we Google
managed
it?
to
Google it.
comfortably make the
2020
playoffs.
projected offenses.
You're telling me they're in the top 10. If they're in the top 10 with how offensively heavy the rules are nowadays, they will do better than 4 and 12.
No, what I'm saying is their defense has got nothing. Their defense is like bottom 5.
Nate Solder's out for the year with the COVID
Mate,
thing as well.
their best, the most important position on defense, or the most not important position specifically, the secondary. Their best secondary player is
Couldn't tell you.
he's in the lockup right now. He's second-year cornerback. Not going to mention any names on here.
Bleach has got him at 27.
What offense?
Yep.
I'm not buying that.
Anyway, we're not going off what Bleacher have to say.
I think that
obviously,
Jason
but-
Garrett as their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's going
Yeah.
to cross
Forgot
there.
about that move.
It's probably dropped back to bottom 20 now. But
Yeah,
anyway, so
drop
their,
it.
Or
their best
27.
talent in the secondary.
Well, you haven't even mentioned my breakout player who's on offense.
Maybe spit it out while we're on the topic.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on his first name, but I think
Right.
it's...
Oh, so he's a back
No,
out.
hang on. It's Slayton. I think his
Darius.
first name is
Darius.
Darius. Yeah,
Darius.
right. But it's just like it's confusing because there's also Darius Slay who went to the Eagles, and I was like, could they both be Darius? But they are. So Darius Slayton, I've had him in my.
I think it's Darius, but that's
either,
yeah.
either or potato. Like so, Slayton, I had him in my dynasty fantasy league last year, and the bloke was like sneaky good, but
Yeah,
he
it was
ended
low-key.
up like in a starting role,
Sneaky
and I was just
good,
like, hang
yeah.
on a second, Slammer's found a win.
Hey, low key.
And so just like Terry McLaurin, I don't is it McLaurin?
Terry McLaurin, yeah.
He got all the like accolades as being like gun rookie, like getting all that sort of vibe. But Slayton's year at wide receiver for the Giants was like pretty low key good and didn't get enough love in my opinion.
Well, I think he's got it
Exactly.
going on.
This
He's rapid.
supports
His
my top
size and
10
rapid.
rating for the
Yeah,
Giants
I'm,
offense.
not, I'm not glad that I am supporting it.
You're
either,
still
but,
you're still defending that claim.
I'm trying to look it up on the internet. The internet's giving me no love.
Is that the hill you want to die on?
No, it's not, because I'll find out who the Twitter of CEO is one day.
The Twitter of
Twitter
CEO.
of CEO.
The CEO of Twitter is one day.
You said Twitter the first time.
We're running out of time.
We are running out of time.
For Schnars to maintain his grasp on the English language, I think is the real
I'm not sure,
concern.
not sure he's ever had a great grasp.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
that's probably-
Oh, with a name like Schnars, do you think I'm English?
No. What is it, Dutch?
Huh? I'm Scottish.
Scottish.
But Schnars isn't Scottish.
Move right along.
Yeah,
Move
I've
right along.
It's just I've
Okay.
hit a real speed bump there. Let's go to the final team we've got for the night.
the Washington football team.
Hold on. That's
What
not
sport-
that's not what you have written down.
What sport
I
do they
wrote
play?
that a while ago.
Is that dated? Is it? That name?
That must be dated.
Yeah, because they're quite topical.
Quite
The Washington football team.
Not to mention the absolute money grab they've gone by not picking a nickname for a year or two.
And I think this
Trying
is
to-
this
So
is
everybody has to buy new merch because you can't wear the old merch.
And then in
to
2
games.
years'
Then
time?
in a year or two, you got to buy the brand new merch. Wonderful way to make money.
I mean, that's just Dan
Not
Schneider
great
using
for
his
the-
huge.
not great
huge
for the
brain.
people of Washington, obviously.
no. And as well, it's also because they can't wear the old merchandise too.
No, because you'll get
No.
ripped apart if you rock up to FedEx wearing that.
You've also got Donald Trump living in a big white house in your neighbourhood.
Yeah,
go for the Redskins.
no man, I'd rather have running the country when this sort of thing's going down. He's got a firm grasp on all things.
Yeah, a couple of redheads, you and him.
all things.
We're gonna get cancelled by Donald Trump fans now.
Oh, that's okay. I can live with that.
I'll come with a hat next time.
All right, let's
He
talk,
won an election. We can't afford to get cancelled by the number of fans he has.
let's talk about the best player picked in the draft.
Right,
Who went pick 2?
right.
Oh, without a doubt, Chase
Chase
Young.
Young.
Chase Young.
Yes, I think universally here, all three of us could agree that man is bad.
I saw a video today.
Wait.
I saw a
We-
video of him today at training. Just monster. Some dude.
He
And I
is
was
not
like,
a man.
dude.
Oh, you're
He's a beast.
Yes. Once again, I'm going to bring up a Disney reference here and Slam, you're going to finish it.
I'm gonna- Anyone that knows this
What
bloke
Disney
knows
movie would
that
you
is
cast
right.
him in?
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, bang on. That man is a fucking man. He's a man.
He's-
Well, as I've said to players before multiple times, I said it to him before the draft. I said if I was Cincinnati, I'd be taking Chase Young. You build around Chase Young and you worry about quarterback later, especially with who is coming out this year. Like you build the
I think to
defense up.
supplement that, don't
What I
embarrass
was talking
yourself.
about is more the fact that Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields are
correct.
coming out
You've
this
got
year.
options coming
You
out.
could potentially get one of
Good-
them
we're not-
and get
And Chase Young.
Chase Young.
By
Like,
saying Chase Young is the best player in that draft, I think everyone can agree, but we're not discrediting Joe Burrow at all.
No way.
Phenomenal
but
season.
Joe Burrow
way.
had one good year. Chase Young is just a freak.
I think he's a stud.
Yeah, but
I
you
think
can't.
And he's gonna. He'll be
He's like a
better.
kid.
He'll be better in the NFL immediately, more so than Burrow will. Burrow, I think, will have growing pains and struggle.
Without a doubt, look at Nick Bosa last year.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You can't
I think
sit there.
you can come in at defensive end and dominate from day one.
But you can't sit there and say Chase Young had the best college career ever when he played with the likes of people that he played with.
Well, it's the same tour.
That's the same with Burrow, though.
Yeah, I know, but what
Burrow
you're
had
sa-
arguably the best college team of all time.
No,
their
no, no.
entire
I'm
their
not saying
entire
that.
offense got picked in the draft.
You've just taken an assumption and run with it. I'm saying right here, right now, 2 years ago, he wasn't the best player on that team because you had Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
Arguably
true.
didn't play a lot.
Yeah.
But still, they've had that many people come out of the Ohio State. Another football factory for
Yeah.
defensive linemen, or not linemen, fucking,
Ends.
and coming out of there that some of the highlights and the amount of sacks he was recording last year, it was ridiculous. You cannot.
It's just like
He's just
your,
a beast.
your animation to kind of ram the point home was perfect because I think
Yeah.
he is just that guy. Like he's a
I also love
freak
the
show.
fact that he's picked the number 99 for himself because in a few years, that's probably what his Madden rating's going to be.
Oh,
The bloke is a gun.
wait, this might be calling you out on something you might not know. Do you have his rating for the current year?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't have
dear.
it on me. Do you know what it is?
No, because I was going to say this could be one of those situations that you're already saying Madden's throwing shade.
Whatever it is, it's probably not high enough.
I can tell you
reckon-
what.
I think it's about an 84.
Check it
I'll
out.
tell you what.
Pull it up.
Oh no, they usually
I'm gonna
start in the
I'm gonna look at
70s
I'm gonna
with
look
the-
it up. I'm gonna look it
Yeah,
up.
you look it up.
But
and
Chase-
we'll
No,
keep
actually, I
going.
think it's 82.
Chase Young
80 or
Young
82.
Chase Young is wearing number 99.
99.
And he's got 99 problems, but
And
his
it's the rest of his
football
team,
team is all of them.
On that though, their defense isn't that bad.
Well, it won't be now.
It'll be better now. Yes.
It will be better, but if we, so I've got the Washington football team going 1-15, which
You
is,
have got you've had two teams out of 8 go 1-15.
Chase Young's an 80,
and
by the way.
and the,
80.
and the exact same.
It's not high enough.
I have the same philosophy with the
It's Madden trade.
Finns
Yeah,
that I do with the Washington football team.
yeah.
So
Who are they going to start at quarterback though?
I honestly don't know.
Who that? Oh, Haskins last
Haskins?
year. And they've picked up. So they picked up Allen. Like Riviera took Allen.
He wasn't
with him.
bad at Carolina.
No,
and
but
those-
he had some bad.
he
games.
started well. Was he 4-1 at one point? And then he died off.
There was a hype train going on there for a while,
But
but,
that,
I
like
think it was
Alex
a bit
Smith
fluky.
is back and cleared to play. Like cleared to full pads,
have-
hits and stuff.
Is that
like-
ceremonial though? Are they really going to trot out Alex Smith to
No,
be their
no,
quarterback?
I don't think he
Probably
would,
maybe
I don't
one
think
game.
he would even go back and try if it wasn't to play properly.
If it wasn't a possibility, he
Oh, of
wouldn't.
course not. Yeah, of course. But if
But-
he
and
might
that
be, he
leads
might
into
be
my
saying
Madden
things that way.
shade. They've got Alex Smith ranked as a 68 overall.
Yeah.
A 68?
That,
That is horrendous.
As in low.
Yeah.
wait, are you thinking 68's high, Blaze?
I'm thinking Alex Smith hasn't played since he broke his leg, and we've got no idea how that's even going to look.
But
I mean,
68,
I know.
that's too
I
far.
know- I know
What was
that
he
he's been
before-
cleared.
He must have been before that, like at least an 80.
He was mid
82.
80s, I think.
Like they've dropped him 14 points based on a bad break of a leg.
It's not a bad break of a leg, mate.
Horrific. Like, he almost died.
No. He
did almost
He
die.
didn't die because of the leg break. He died
No, he
because
died
of the
because he got
infection.
infected.
Yeah, of course, I know.
But he had, I read
but
something
if
today, he
you-
had like
if you
9
almost-
surgeries or something.
If
like,
you
it was
almost die,
horrendous.
you come back, and by all sense and purpose, no one would have blamed Alex Smith if he walked away and said not again.
But how's the shade?
I don't know the shade because I just don't
68!
know. I don't know what he's going to look
I
like.
would actually be interested to know what Nathan Peterman's rating is.
Oh.
It can't be much lower than 68.
Well, they wouldn't have him in the
There's
fucking
like
game, would they?
undrafted free agents that get a 68.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts is higher than 68.
True. Did we speak? No, we didn't speak about Jade.
Jalen Hurts.
There's
at
not
Philly.
heaps to say about Jalen Hurts, is there? At
No,
this
but it's
point?
an interesting pickup.
It's
It's
an-
a storyline.
It's an interesting
I
pickup
like
from like the third
storylines.
round at quarterback. Clearly, clearly Philly also see
coverage.
the problem.
Yeah, of course.
That that Wentz keeps missing.
But Philly are smart.
Sorry, that's getting off.
They're a smart organisation.
No, so I think how we can round out the Washington football team is similar to what I said.
They
about,
did. They also picked up
the
Kendall
Dolphins.
Fuller in free agency from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
like a 4-year,
Pretty reasonable
big money
corner.
deal as well.
But I think the thing is
Yeah,
there,
slot-
you're going to have
slot corner,
controversy all season at the quarterback position.
that whole team is just a controversy.
Dwayne Haskins, in my opinion, showed nothing last year.
Certainly not enough.
Not
He
a
didn't
lot.
show anything.
Well, don't forget there was that one game where he had like a game-winning drive and then he missed the extra point or he missed something because he was taking a selfie with a fan.
Yeah, correct.
So how like in it is Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah.
Like, is he really in it? Like, or
He's
is he
in it
just
for the
there a good
followers.
time?
Well, he's a young man. I mean, you'd learn from that.
He's
But
mature.
obviously, you'd
But
expect
so
him not to
I don't
do
think
that.
we even answered the question before. Who do we honestly think is starting at quarterback for this team? Is it Kyle Allen? Is it Dwayne Haskins? Or is it Alex Smith?
I honestly
It's
think it'd be
Haskins.
Haskins. I think it'd be Haskins until
I think if
proven
Smith's,
otherwise.
if Smith's healthy, I think it has to be Smith. I
Wait.
think he's way better than what the other two offer.
I don't think they've
you
got a
remember the other
future with
year,
Alex
Before
Smith.
he did get injured the other year and Peterson got injured as well and all that, they were going like alright. Like 2
I don't
years
know,
ago.
but what's your future? Your future's not Alex Smith at this point, is it?
No.
But your
No,
future's
it's
not to go have a. Your future's not to draft the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick each year as well, because that's not good for your business model.
Yeah, but you don't know. But they don't know yet. I know we have our opinions on Haskins, but they don't know what they've got in Haskins yet. And I'm 100% not.
Ron
100%.
Rivera's a
so
smart man.
Do
He's
they
a
go,
smart
do
man.
they go will Rivera go Haskins or will he go the guy that he knows and seems to kind of like? Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought him with him in Kyle Allen.
Who'll go Haskins? I think Kyle
Yeah.
Allen has got across his coverage, and then Alex Smith getting cleared to play has been a happy little bonus. And I think there's every chance Alex Smith might play 1 or 2 games.
I
till
think
the end of the
you'll see
year
all-
if their season's done.
You'll see all 3 quarterbacks at some point in the season.
Agreed.
And that's probably part of the reason I've gone 1-15. It's the whole thing is chemistry here. You're in a shortened season.
Continuity and
You've got 3
Yeah.
weeks training camp or padded training
I've gone
camp.
4-12 again.
And
I think 1-15 is rough.
if you see if you see Slammer on the street and he doesn't know anything about your football team and thinks they're irrelevant, he'll go, yeah, they're a 4-12 team.
No, I've got
Yeah.
teams listed
That's-
12. Just wait until
You've got the Jets, the Giants, and the Redskins. You've got 3 out of 8 teams. You've got like 40% of your teams.
do you
going
think there's an
4-12.
element of fence sitting?
Yeah.
I think there's an element of
4
fence
and
sitting.
12. How's 4 and 12 fence setting? I'll tell you right now. I'm pretty sure the Jags in a few weeks. Let me check my notes quickly. I've got the Jags going 1-15. So there you go.
Well, there's a little spicy preview for what's
Spicy
to come.
preview.
Wait until next week it might be when we do the South. And
We could do the
that's
South
1 and
next
15.
week. Why not? Let's do the South next week. If you want to see the
Jim,
South,
we're doing the South next
if you
week.
want to
Jim.
see the South next week, make sure you show us some love.
Yep.
Get it out
We
there
get
and
3 retweets. We'll do the South next week.
retweets.
Oh, there's 3 of us. So guess we get the South next week.
Yeah, boys.
South, baby.
Oh,
Let's go.
That's 4 if we add in Jim, the producer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim, we do have to get in contact with Jim.
I reckon
He's
Kevin
on
Durant.
tonight, so we had to do a bit of our own legwork. So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing.
Kevin Durant's burner account will probably retweet it as well.
Yeah,
So
well,
true.
you know, especially when you start hammering him on about his.
Yeah, my burner account will retweet it as well.
Sorry, players. Did you just want to finish that?
Yep.
thought, or-
Can we come back to that? Because there's been a lot made of my
Better not.
speech impediments.
My speech impediment wasn't an impediment. It was I better cut myself off before I say something that might incriminate me.
Genuine
Now, do you
brain
want to know
fart.
about the 2 players that have opted out for the season for the Redskins?
I might just move on to the
Hey,
conclusion.
hey, hey! Is that number 2?
I've never heard of them.
What?
Redskins. Is that 2?
That yeah.
Oh, no. I've
No.
done it again.
And you've got 1.
But I'm not saying it. I'm calling it out.
Oh, you're
It's
calling
different.
it out. So yeah.
God, I apologise to everyone involved with the Washington football team.
I think for that
but
we should
both-
buy some. We should buy some merch
Yeah.
and show some support. We should. It's a serious movement. We should.
Yeah, I think we should. I think moving into
you've
a
got
more
a big budget because you've been working at Officeworks for those hard hours. That
into
makes sense.
as we move into a more tolerant world, I think it's important that you use your weekly paycheck from Officeworks on getting a
Just more
T-shirt
merch.
or something like that.
Replace some of this Chiefs memorabilia with.
Don't even think about it.
There's some serious gear getting around. All right, well, boys, AFC, NFC. I think
The East.
we're pretty much in agreement that the Bills and the Cowboys will probably be the 2 that come out of there.
Yeah.
And I don't think, outside of maybe Schnarz's Pats and Eagles as a wild card possibility.
Pats won't be making it.
I know you don't think so. I think you're every chance
two
of probably
teams.
getting the Eagles as maybe a wild card. I think they're always around the mark, and obviously the
Yeah,
Cowboys.
remember, we got 7 playoff teams this year. We've got an extra one for
there
the
is
first
the
time
extended
ever.
set, yes.
And I can guarantee the Eagles and the Pats will not be included.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
Wait,
we
is
might-
that a guarantee?
well, we're
it's
gonna have to.
guaranteed.
I'm going to lock down guarantees.
Playoffs have changed this year. The number 1 seed will get a bye. 2 will play 7.
I'm not debating the playoffs
play
have
6, 4
changed.
play
No.
5.
I'm debating the guarantee.
Yeah,
No, it's a guarantee.
In post production, Blaze, I'm talking to you
That's
right
a
now.
Slammers guarantee.
Make a
I
note.
reckon a Slammers guarantee.
Make
Wait,
it-
give it the last one.
Make a note.
Slammers guarantee.
Make a note. Every time he makes a guarantee, make a guarantee. I want to take a note of it, and I want to bring it back in a
Wait, what
run
was my
through
guarantee
montage.
again?
The
I
Eagles
don't
and
love
the Pats.
saying about the Eagles. I do
Wait,
love
if-
Carson Wentz.
If we can paint a perfect picture of that, it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee.
Wait, what did I guarantee?
Wait, what's the guarantee?
Which is all class from
But
Chucky.
I guarantee the Pats will not be playing in the
I'll
playoffs.
guarantee you he's going to be a used car salesman in 2 years.
Yeah, there's plenty of that going on.
Used car salesman.
Well, I
Good
think
car.
I almost went the whole time. I got through an hour and 21 and 45 seconds without a 9 a.m.
You'd
I've
make-
cocked it up in the last 15.
you'd
You
make
and
a good
Derek
bus.
can go sell cars in Las Vegas next season.
You'd make
He
a,
will be out of the job.
you'd make
But
a good
that's for another
bus.
time.
You'd make a good bus, mate. That's all you'd do.
All right.
All right, I'm pretty happy with that. You happy with that, big boy?
I think I'm happy with it, yeah.
Yeah, Chuckles.
Pretty happy with that.
Excellent. I
Lovely,
think
lovely way to wrap up episode 1.
absolutely, boys, and I think all things considered, first go round pretty smooth. Coming up on about an hour and 25, so we'll be looking at some good
chatting.
numbers
It's
there.
a bold call before post-production.
Oh, I've got no doubt that the editor will be on point. So
We'll see how we go.
we shall wait and see about that. Actually.
Anyone that's watching this out there got any questions
Yep.
for us
Yep.
or any topics to debate? We're happy to change up the structure.
Sammy,
a bit,
do you want to
bring
give him
things in.
the Yeah, absolutely. We'll take all the feedback we can get. I think
100%.
obviously this is a passion project for us, but we want to learn through everyone else as well.
Two
Not just our
of the
own
three
kind
of us
review.
aren't oblivious to what everyone thinks. So
Yeah.
Blaze and I will take it on board.
Yeah, yeah, and Chuck will
I'll
probably tell you
where
to
you're
get
wrong.
stuff.
I'll tell you
So,
where you're wrong.
but that's part of the character that is the big man to my right.
He's
Chucky,
on the
you want to chuck out? Well, he's on left of screen probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean right of my body.
I was just talking about you calling him the big man and me being right here.
Oh right, okay, completely misread that one. Sammy, do you want to give everyone out there the hookup on the socials? What's the handles?
Slim Slam Bandwagon Fan for all your socials, or on Twitter it is the SSBF Podcast.
Very good. And
We will be active on Twitter as well.
yeah, Twitter's
We will
huge
be.
for us. Instagram, we love it. We love the gram. We love getting our shots in and really putting our content out there. We're going to try and clip up a whole bunch of stuff, get it out on Facebook and Instagram and all the rest of it. So
Just
make sure
the
you
best
check
bits.
them out. Best bits, yeah. If you don't have an hour and a half to kind of sit and look at us carry on like
Dribble on.
idiots, then you can certainly get our best bits on all those kind of
I
platforms.
tell you what though, me working at Officeworks, it's tough grind.
Yeah.
Me sticking the AirPods in at Officeworks and listening to this for an hour and a half,
Easy.
money for
Yeah,
jam.
you're right. And if you're going to sit on the train on the way to work and on the way home, even better. Lord knows I'll probably be sitting on the train on the way to work listening to myself.
We are the community.
So that might be the
commute's best friend.
Oh, absolutely. Commute.
Are
in
we the
car.
Commuters podcast?
Well, it's too late to rebrand now, Sean.
Oh, God damn it.
Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan, we are coming for all the commuters.
All right. Well, maybe
Maybe
we'll.
drive to Mount Compass for football training. Put it on.
Oh, well, of course. Shout out Mount Compass.
If you're
Football
driving
Club.
from the East
Go
Coast,
Dogs.
Go Dogs, roll Dogs.
East Coast to the West Coast.
We might be rambling a touch here. What do you
Oh,
reckon?
well, let's wrap it up.
What do you reckon? Wrap it
Let's
up.
wrap it up. We're
He's
done.
been
We're done
slammed.
here.
I've been slammed. That's the Bandwagon Fan.
Let's
Good
go.
night.
See you next time. Thank you very much.